Hey guys,
Hello.
Lifestyle Investing,
Yeah.
Bernie, Mike, and we got a special guest, Kuljit, is in the house.
In the house.
Where we invest based off our lifestyle to build that future lifestyle. Happy to be here. Talking investing, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Dude, how's your week been, Mike?
Powerful.
Explain this power.
So it's this idea that I really believe in, that once you try and step out to do something, the doors open and that flow happens. So what I mean by that is, say if I have an intention that I'm going to go get more deals or I'm going to make more contacts, if I just start taking action towards that, it might not come through with the way that my action is coming. You know what I mean? So if I'm staying busy, going after my goal over here, the actual action might come from this side over here. And so how that's been manifesting in my life this week is, I was telling Kuljit earlier, I got to do this networking event last week where I spoke in front of 180 people, kind of shared some personal and powerful stuff that's going on in my life, and met and reached out with a bunch of people. Well, through that, they said, well, how about you just provide us with water? Because last week I basically had to buy lunch for 180 people in order to speak for 8 minutes. Yeah, so this week, they let me just bring in water, and so I put my label on it, put my name on it, and I got to just kind of walk around and hang out. So it was just this cool thing where I didn't think it was going to come from that action, but other things started presenting themselves. So like the door kept getting opened, and then I went to a couple other realtor offices today and met people, and doors are open there too for me to teach classes. So it's just cool. I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling it in the flow.
Yeah. And the beauty is, like, the door didn't open. Mike opened the door.
Yeah.
He opened the door. So that's what you guys got to do. So one thing I want to really talk about, Kuljit, he's got some developments going on. All right. So let's say someone wants to get into like developments, right? Like they want to buy a piece of a lot or something, subdivide it, maybe sell one, then build a house on one, or maybe just build a house on one and then sell the house, or there's a lot of creative ways. Yeah. Right. How do you get started? Right. Well, I feel like it's intimidating.
It's not. If you have right people on your side, it's a, I wouldn't want to say piece of cake, but it just makes your life simple and easy. First, you gotta know your broker. You gotta have faith in them, trust in them, because your broker is gonna present you with a listing, and then you have to check with the city to make sure you can actually develop it. A lot of the properties that are on the market, sometimes it's not developable.
Swamps, right?
Yes, what I mean by that is there's wetland, there's creek, you can't develop it. So you got to make sure the zoning is right, and from that's when you put your offer in, and make sure you don't go beyond what you can afford. Some people they want to buy something so bad that they overpay for it. So you want to make sure that you don't overpay for anything, because it's an investment.
It's true.
So
big investment too.
Yes, sir. And then you gotta talk to your city. Talk to the planner. City planners are the best resource because they will tell you what you can actually build on that property. If it's a big 1 acre lot, 2 acre lot, you might not be able to build more than 2 houses. So you gotta make sure your planner is, talk to the city planner first of all, after you get the property. And then
should you talk to them before you get the property?
Yeah,
to know what you
can always go to the city office. You can always go to the city office and just tell them, hey, this is the property, this is the tax ID number, we're interested. And they'll tell you that if there's a wetland, if there's a sewer problem or anything, they will, it's called critical areas. They will tell you everything about it. And then
critical areas are probably pretty critical.
Yes. Yeah. So they'll let you know.
100%.
They'll let you know if it's if you can build anything on it. So I actually have one of my client. He bought a property in Kent, on 135th.
Kent, Washington, for those that are.
For you, Cindy, in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So he did not know that there's a sewer line. The house was on septic, and sewer is 400 feet away from the house, which means we're talking about at least $200,000
just to get to the
just to get the sewer to your property.
Right.
So you want to make sure things like that, the water is on the street, the sewer is on the street. It just makes your life a little bit easy. And then
are those some of the critical areas that they tell you? When you talk to the planner?
The critical area is usually the wetland, creek.
Oh, so critical area is like an area that you're not going to be able to build.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then from that, I'm sure all cities have a program called pre-application meeting.
Right. Okay.
It's a probably $200 to $500 fee for a quick meeting with the city officers. It's with the planner, with the development, with the city fire department. So everyone gets to one table. They let you know what you can actually do with the property. I would recommend hiring a surveyor so that you know if there's any
how many legal lots
exactly
what you might be up against for grading and
the actual grade lines of
okay.
And then as I said, it's just a pre-application meeting, and then from that you'll have an idea of what you can actually do with the house, and then from that you submit your application for development, and then that usually take, depending on city to city, usually take about 9 months to a year. If you're quick on it, make sure your payments are on time, make sure you are following up with the city if they're requesting for any documents, and don't try to save those little $100-$200 here or there, because you got to make sure you got the right people on your side.
One thing I've heard too is like if you get like an architect or a surveyor or something like that, like don't get a cheap one from there or there. Like have them be on the same team.
Exactly.
Like the communication.
So you always want to start off with the surveyor, with one survey company that knows what they're doing pretty much. And then what I usually do is I ask them for a referral. I ask them, who would you want to work with? What kind of engineer you want to hire? Because it just makes everyone's life easy. Because communication, that's where a lot of projects fail, because there's a communication error. So you want to make sure
this
communication
guy does it his way, this guy does it that
exactly.
way.
So when you have a survey company that's worked with A and Z company here, they're familiar with how each other works.
That makes sense.
So
that's great. That's actually really good information.
And speed can save you money.
Yes.
So if you think you're saving a couple $100 there, the speed,
searching,
and especially with like a development, that's a big deal.
Yes, because when you're doing 3 house, 4 house, you can't go wrong. But when you're doing 10 house, 20 house, you want to be on top of everything, because even 1 month could change everything. Think about it, 2007, 2008 economy, it just went.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, even
down
1 month.
Yes,
Yeah, you're right.
and nowadays you look at the market, you buy a house today, after a month that same house is worth probably $20,000-$40,000 more than what you paid.
Right.
So time is money. You gotta be right on it. You gotta follow up with the city. You gotta follow up with your team. Make sure they're on it. They're working towards the project. And once you're done with the engineer, then you go to the city. City tells you what needs to be done. If you have to build sidewalk, if you have to do any construction work, prior to building anything, because most land are not flat, right. So you got to make sure you can actually, be able to build something on there. And then after that is done, then you gotta submit an as-built report to the city. City takes a look at it, and then the good stuff begins. You hire an architect. Mm-hmm. Your lot is subdivided. You record it with your county, and that's when you can actually just sell your lot, or you can actually build on it.
That's good. It's cool. Yeah. Well, we've been here 9.5 minutes.
Yep. So long that we got no signal up there.
I know. Yeah. The cable companies went out of business while we were talking.
See how much difference 1 month can make?
Yes, sir.
Wow. 1 minute.
Yeah. So long story short, there's a long process. All right, but this guy knows what he's talking about. It's been a good 10 minutes chatting with you guys. Lifestyle investing.
That's right.
Super pumped for you guys to watch the next video. Peace.